This is part 4 to what if Deku had God, or had the power called God. And I left off after him explaining crap, and stuff like that, and it's the next day. Today, all the classes are the same, except whenever he gets to lunch, which he doesn't wear a UA. Honestly, he doesn't wear a UA suit. He kind of just wears his hero suit, as people know it, all the time. And actually, some people ask why he has it ripped up. Deku explained that this is about all I wore for my whole life, saying that anytime I did get new clothes, they would just got blown to shreds while training. Okay guys, I have to stay over here, no more walking on me because somebody's being annoying. But it's whatever. So it's the next day. It's all normal old day. Jolly same way. Where did I leave off last time? Oh yeah, okay. So it's the next day. It's normal as it can be. And you look like a flea. But whenever second period rolls around, you see me, your new professor the I'm just kidding. It's me, All Might, as your combat instructor. So he would roll up in there, and he says that we're doing combat, and people are happy. It's All Might, the other male with a quirk, and stuff like that. Which there has been suspicions about Deku being related by All Might, because All Might, blonde hair and green hair, curly, that kind of matches, doesn't it, to you guys? But yeah, so All Might's thinking, and Inko too, thinking that that's our son, stuff like that. So yeah, just to clarify that, but yeah. So how this is gonna work is that he's gonna get there. Oh my god! Okay, so it's Uraraka, Deku. Uraraka sold the gold bar, so she's living on like $1,000, like 100,000 yen. So yeah. So I don't know how much gold it actually goes in Japan, but yeah. So they're there. Deku and Uraraka versus Bakuchan and Ida-chan. I'm just kidding. Bakugo and Ida. And what they're doing right now is that Ida and Bakugo's on the villain team. Deku and Uraraka's on the hero team. Deku's hero suit. It's just his clothes. So yeah. Oh my fucking. What's up, guys? If you guys heard that, I was just annoyed. So Deku is. Sorry, guys, I have to chill out. Deku and Uraraka, they're in a group. They start Ida on the 4th floor and all that. Bakugo goes down because he's angry about Deku getting first. Bakugo does not know Deku because Deku has not been in the area before. So yeah. So Deku just be walking down with Uraraka behind him. This whenever a wall will get bust open by an explosion, and Bakugo would be there. Bakugo instantly goes to explode Deku, but Deku would grab him by the arm, twist it, throwing him into the floor, and he'll get angry, he'll explode back. But Deku would have just dodged again and kicked her in the stomach, sending her back. And now Bakugo will explode back, saying, "Take this," making a big explosion than normal ones. Deku would have just swatted away with his hands. Would actually move it back, and Bakugo would see this and, "What?" He just smacked it away. No burn marks or anything. Because even if it did do a burn mark, it wouldn't show up because he just would have regenerated. This is whenever Bakugo would run at him or again. And this is whenever he would have picked up Uraraka and would have jumped. And at the same time, kick Bakugo's explosion upwards, or kick Bakugo up, making his hands hit the wall, exploding it, drop it on top of him, and him and Uraraka go up the hole. And that's whenever Bakugo's about to jump back up, but this is when Deku would stick out his hand, making a pillar appear after fixing the hole. And Bakugo tried to explode it, but all he would see is more concrete, and he would keep on exploding it. He sees whatever, goes up the stairs. Then he would chase, "No, what you're going to do now?" This is whenever you see Deku have a pencil in his hands. But what he does with his pencil, it's not really like rewind or anything, but just for cool effect, he would throw it at Bakugo, and he would turn it back into a tree in his hand, or he would have it in his hand turn it into a tree, and he would start twisting it, and he would take a twig off, destroying the tree, and he would go up to where Ida is, and he would take that twig, and he would give it to, or he would take multiple twigs, and he would give it to Uraraka, saying, "Turn it to 0 gravity." And she says, "Did it? What's that gonna do?" This is whenever Deku would have just go behind the wall, making a fake bomb. Not the real one that they have there, but this is whenever he would use he would have tapped the floor, dropping the bomb while Ida was distracted, and replaced it, and it would fall down, but people are like, "Why would he drop a bomb?" But this was whenever people would see the floor disappear, but then they'll see the bomb slowly lower down, hitting the floor really quietly, and the floor would replace itself. And this is whenever Deku would walk into the room, showing the bomb, saying that we win. Of course, Ida would be like, "What?" And that's whenever the hero team would win. Be like, "How'd you guys get it?" Be like, "Are you that fast?" And that's whenever Asahi says, "No, this is a fake bomb," touching it and turning it into like cash money, just because, just cash, like a stack of cash in it. And that's when you say, "No, actually it's the floor below you where it's at." Opening the floor again, seeing Uraraka touch the bomb, like he opens the floor and floats them down, seeing the bomb, saying that whenever you're busy, I put the bomb in the floor below you just to surprise you, and stuff like that. I know I did that whole process, but yeah. But he would have he would have won. It's the next day, and today it is Deku's just sitting in the lunchroom eating some random food. I don't know why. Just some like chicken and rice. I don't know, man. Chicken and fried rice. Fried chicken. Wait, fried chicken on fried rice. Fried of all it can be fried. But yeah, whenever he does this. But yeah. So now he would just be eating, and this alarm would go off with Uraraka and Ida there. But Deku wouldn't really react. Then the same villain has infiltrated and all that. And Deku would just look out the window and would see Tomura walking over, grabbing something. I don't know how he got the schedules for UA. I have no clue how, but he does. I'll say he walks in and he says it's the media, but there's somebody else that's not in the media. Whenever he is just saying it's the media, but whenever he hears Deku say that, and he's like, "What you talking about?" That's whenever you point to somebody in the hood, saying that dude. And he'll say, that dude reminds me of somebody. So I'll say he probably seen Tomura. I'm not completely sure. I don't know how, but I'll say he has. And stuff like that. And he says, I think that's Tomura Shigaraki. Something like that. I totally forgot his name completely. And they'll ask, how do you know that? He says, I heard descriptions of him. And he would point to those hands, saying because of those hands. That's all up his arms and stuff, but not on his face. And yeah, everybody be freaking out. And he would just, what he would do is he would tap the floor, just popping it away while people think they're about to fall. But this is when they look to the ground, seeing that they're just floating there, it looks like. But they feel ground with somebody touching it, and they're touching the solid air move that he can do. Kind of how the dude with the solid air breath can do. What? Okay. But yeah, but he would be able to. People, and they would turn around with Deku. I'll say, let them trying to walk back to regular land, because I don't know what's going to happen. Them walking. And Ida, them are in it too, but only person that's not in it is Deku. And they try to walk out, but they hit a wall. And they'd be like, what's going on? That's whenever Deku would say to them, saying it's just the media. And stuff like that. Releasing it, replacing the ground again. And people would be calmed down. And stuff like that. But that's whenever Ida would be like, how do you know him? And stuff like that. Deku would say that the same how I knew about somebody that can give quirks. Janshua told me about him. Be like, how does he know all these villains? Deku would say that he probably was a villain. And they'd be like, so are you a villain? Deku would say, not really. He did talk to some villains, but he doesn't really do any villain act. He kind of just was acquaintances. He's not a hero or a villain or a bounty hunter. He's just a dude that likes to do stuff, he says. He doesn't really like to destroy stuff, but he just does random stuff, Deku says. And they ask, what are you on? He says, not really. Only reason why I became a hero is because I was bored. There's nothing for me to do. Because everything was boring. Because all I did for my whole life was battle. So I thought either I could become a villain or I could just become a hero. But I said becoming a hero is easier. Where if I really want to, I can just chill. And stuff like that, so yeah. Deku would explain this. He'd go to Nezu and would say that some villain probably infiltrated to get information on UA. So be careful, saying they might attack. And Nezu would take this with a grain of salt, though. and he would leave. This is where I'll leave it off, because I can. Goodbye. Hit that like button.